Good morning. Let's wait for a few minutes and then we can get started. How is the sound? Can you hear me? Yeah, great. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. All right. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do it. The webinar will be in English. If you want to ask questions, then we can take those in German. German works equally well, but as some of the topics they will be quite technical, so that's why we do it in English. And also I think we'll have some attendees also from the UK. So even though we are based in Switzerland and work quite a lot in Germany, we'll do it this time in English. I hope that's okay for everyone. All right, I'll share my screen. All right. Yeah. So welcome everyone. This is the first of our webinars in this series in Europe. Matthias had one in Singapore, where he went through pretty much the same topics with some of the clients and agencies in Asia Pacific, and yeah, whenever we have some interesting topics, we plan to host these kind of webinars. So just let us know if you are interested in participating in the future, and also ideas for topics are very much welcome. I prepared three topics. First one will focus mostly on how to optimize the marketing budget with the help of data and then data integration and attribution modeling. In the second topic, I'll go through case Victorinox, the Swiss Army knife maker, and how they connected all the data and started becoming more data driven in their marketing, and how they were able to expand their whole marketing in that way. And the third topic, there I will go through a case with an agency in Australia, how they automated the whole reporting and started doing multi-touch attribution modeling. Whenever you have questions, just feel free to ask them whenever. There is space for questions towards the end, but whenever you have questions, also during the presentation, just go ahead and ask them. That's the best way to make it interesting for you, so that I don't just keep on talking. All right. Yeah, let's dig into it. So first, a quick introduction. Who is talking here? I'm Niklas Kolster. I'm from Finland, but I speak Swedish and German also, and living in Switzerland since 5 years now. In 2003, a little bit more background. 2003, we founded Finland's first voice over IP company. We were doing voice over IP already before Skype, and then we sold that company 5 years later. Then I focused for a while on quantitative trading and high frequency trading, programming algorithms for the financial market, and then I was a lead data scientist at Bright. It was a mobile applications company acquired by Facebook in 2014. And then I was heading Accenture's data science team in Scandinavia after that, and have been involved in e-commerce mostly after that. I was at Siroop here in Switzerland, and then also at eBay, and now with windsor.ai, we help companies with data integration and data-driven marketing. All right. Some of the challenges we see companies having in marketing today, they are quite a lot around data silos, data being disconnected, data being stored in different systems, but also the whole topic about taking the whole customer journey into account when optimizing marketing, and then also integrating all the cost data. I will go through these challenges separately and how they can be tackled also. So it's quite typical that all the different systems involved in the marketing, that they collect their own parts of the data, own parts of the customer journey, and in many cases also the own cost data. So it's very hard to form the full overview of the marketing performance, and this then can mean that the teams in some companies, the teams go and optimize the marketing in the platforms, and the platforms are usually quite greedy in taking credit for their own performance. So you have cannibalization and so on, and the full picture is lacking sometimes, and and this can be a little bit tricky in terms of budgeting. And also many times you have the case that the real conversions, they happen offline. They are tracked in a CRM, which then means that that to be able to optimize the marketing really based on the performance, also the CRM data would have to be taken into account. So it has to be connected, and this can be quite tricky in some cases. So if this is not done, then the marketing is based on, or marketing is optimized based on non-qualified leads, for example, which can impact the budgeting decisions in a big way. All right, and yeah, today of course the customer journeys, they can be quite complex, and most analytic tools today, they are focused on last click, which means that in these cases, and then these last touch points would get all of the credit, and these display, for example, would be ignored. So it's quite important to have an attribution model that gives credit to the full customer journey. It simplifies things so much. If there is no attribution model, then usually Google is being overweighted quite a lot because it's so strong in the lower funnel, and also many times if there is no proper attribution model, it leads to marketers starting to look at click rates, bounce rates, and these kind of things, which is sort of usually a sign that they are not able to optimize on the real contribution of that marketing channel. And then it's very easy to get confused. Yeah, here are some examples of customer journeys, and yeah, so here you have quite many cases where you have, this is quite Google dominated, but then you have also the other channels. So you have a win affiliates, Connexity, and so on here. And then if you for example want to see which customer journeys involve Criteo, then you can search for them like this. And if you had an attribution model that only gave credit to the last touch point, then for example in this case it would only give credit to Criteo, so Google would not get credit. So it's quite important to give credit to the whole customer journey. And then here is another way at looking at the customer journey. So yeah, they can be quite complex. You have the conversions here in the middle, and then you have the different Facebook capture media, Google display, and comparison. Comparison is a Swiss price comparison site, organic, and so on. So they can be analyzed in quite many different ways. All right. And the third challenge that we typically see is that the cost data is not integrated, and this is quite important. So the attribution modeling gives you the performance figures, but for those performance figures to be actionable, it has to be connected also to the cost data, and because then you get a ROI for every channel, and this is something that is already one step more actionable. So then it becomes possible to optimize. And then you have first maybe you have the numbers looking like this, so that you have the revenue the channels bring, and then the cost, and many companies are lacking this full overview of the true revenue and the true cost for every channel. And then when it's put as a ROI, then you can have figures like this. And then of course you want to invest as much as possible in the high performing channels, which are very business and industry specific. All right, and how to solve this then is to connect all the data together, so that there is the full overview, and measure the impact of all channels across the whole customer journey. Only that way it's possible to take informed decisions. Of course, it will never be perfect, but then one can take informed and educated decisions and make experiments and measure them. And then it can look like this, so that you have all the different channels, and you have the spend for every channel, and the multi-touch attributed revenue and the ROAS. And then of course you want to invest as much as possible in the high performing channels with the highest ROAS. And then comes into play diminishing returns and so on. So it gets tricky very quickly. All right, if you have some questions, just ask that in the chat. I think just feel free to interrupt. And then there's some more details about the attribution modeling. I'm not going to go so much into details in the models themselves. There's two widely used data-driven models. Here I go deeper into them. So if you want to check them out, feel free. Yep. Then the case Victorinox, and here I think everyone knows the company Victorinox. They are the maker of the Swiss Army knife, and it's a very old company, founded in 1884, and they are famous worldwide. So the initial situation was that they were the marketing was focusing on two different objectives. It was the awareness that was benefiting all the channels, and then there was the own performance marketing, which was helping the own e-commerce sales in multiple countries, and this was managed by agencies, but no one really had the full overview of what was affecting what. And then you have different marketing channels. So there was Google, search engine advertising, Google Shopping, Bing, Facebook, and different affiliates, and then retargeting channels. And then we set everything up so that we connected to all the different marketing channels and started pulling in the cost data from all of them. We set up the budget optimizer and integrated the affiliate costs and so on. And this is not yet done, but this is something that is going to happen, that we connect also the Amazon sales. And then we have APIs to all of these different marketing channels, so that we can pull in the data and analyze the whole customer journeys and the cost data. And then Victorinox now has a data-driven return on ad spend for all the countries, channels, the keywords, and also the content, so that they can easily optimize based on performance. And then some challenges that we run into is, of course, that when there suddenly is lots of transparency and there has not been so much transparency before, it can create surprises, and then it just has to be tackled, so that decisions can be taken and so on. And now everything is being optimized based on performance and data, and it can be used also for high level budgeting decisions, but also for tactical optimizations, like even on a keyword level and keyword and content combinations and so on, but also the budgeting level. Some challenges that we saw there was that the Google's automation is very good for Google in most cases. Sometimes it's not so good for the company itself. It's very greedy, and can take can easily eat up lots of budget if it is left unconstrained. But yeah, that was quite well automated then. And another challenge was to automate, like going from broad matches to exact matches on the search campaigns. And there is a tool tool that Victorinox now can use to automatically add the search terms as exact keywords, so that they save lots of time there. And then we have some tips that they can use to optimize the marketing and easily find cost saving opportunities there. And then the budget optimizer here, it has been censored a little bit, but there's a budget optimizer that they can use to save time and focus on increasing the budget where it has the biggest impact, and also decreasing the budget where it has the biggest impact. So checking these things every second week or every week makes it quite easy to save time and optimize. All right, and then we have the third topic about how agencies can benefit from automating reporting and multi-touch attribution. And here I'm going to go through a case study with an agency in A-Clicks in Australia. Some of the typical challenges they had was that the tracking and reporting takes lots of time, and it's also difficult to show the impact of the upper funnel. And yeah, here is a little bit of history about them. So here is like low maturity level or beginner, and then the experts, they focus on measuring the ROI. So this brought them up to expert status quite quickly. And yeah, it's some backgrounds on A-Clicks. It's a mid-size agency in Melbourne, Australia, a Google Premier partner, a strong focus on performance marketing, paid and organic search, retargeting, conversion rate optimization, analytics, and social media marketing. So quite a lot of e-commerce and other performance-based clients. And the goal was to integrate all the data and use the insights to save money and time. And yeah, in the beginning they were able to optimize based on form fills, so leads, but then it looks like this. So that the performance figures, they were based on cost per lead, and then the whole customer journey and all the marketing data was connected, so that the cost data was integrated, and also the email and CRM data was integrated, and now they are actually able to optimize based on cost per opportunity and cost per enrollment, so that they were able to weed out non-qualified leads from the performance figures, which then made them save lots of money on channels that brought low quality leads here. So that was brought them quite a lot of more insight, and they also use this kind of overview to optimize the marketing budgets, and optimizing also all the conversions based on the real CRM data, and there's a budget optimizer that proposes the spend for every channel, campaign, and even on ad set level if they want to go that low. And here are some results then from the first 6 weeks. So cost per acquired customer and cost per opportunity was measured for the first time down to keyword and ad level, and the overall cost per CRM opportunity was reduced 19%, which was it's quite a big improvement there, and they saved also lots of time by automating the whole data integration process, and also automating the insights and the recommendations, so the agency can focus on what matters most. Yeah. All right. Any questions or comments so far? And there is a question: how do we guarantee to track the whole customer journey? Because data collection is hardly affecting by GDPR. Yeah, this is a good question. So the data collection, we don't have to use privacy protected data. We can use encrypted and hashed identifiers, so that and we don't even have to go down to individual level in some cases. GDPR has made the data collection quite a lot more difficult, and in some cases we cannot guarantee it, but usually there are some solutions that can be used. So encrypting, for example, the identifiers, and using encrypted IDs instead of any information that can be connected to individuals. That helps quite a lot in this case. And also in many cases we only operate with anonymized data. For example, if we use data from the ad servers or from the analytics tools, then we only operate with anonymized data, because most analytic tools they only allow storing anonymized data. And then what are the running costs for the tool? We have a pricing on our website. We have the pricing starts from 99 per month, and then it scales up to 499 per month. In some cases, it's the pricing is a little bit higher, depending a little bit on the data volumes and also the complexity of the data sources. But it's quite reasonable, and it's quite easy to get started. We also have free trials, so that if you want to try it out, then you can just go ahead and try it out for 30 days and see what the benefits are. But usually, like, there is already benefits after 2 weeks of using it. Depends, of course, a lot on the business. Some businesses have so strong seasonality, so it's hard to say. But in many cases, there's insights and actionable recommendations already after 1 or 2 weeks. Are there any requirements for the tool? The basic tracking should be set up quite well, meaning that for example, campaigns should have tagging, and we prefer UTM tags, and then conversion tracking should be set up so that if you use, for example, Google Analytics to track conversions, then we can use those same tags and the same data. And yes, tagging should be done for preferably for all platforms. That's the best way to ensure the data quality. We have some tools that check, for example, Facebook campaigns for missing UTM tags. So there's no need to manually check everything, but we have some tools that make it easier. But it's it's a generally good practice to have tagging in place and so on. Yeah, and then a question is how do you identify a user through the different data sources and make sure that the user is unique? This depends a little bit on the different sources involved. If we talk about the connection from online to the CRM, for example, there has to be some identifier that can be sent between these different systems. We have instructions how to set this up for the most commonly used CRM systems. And if we talk about Facebook, then that's a little bit more difficult because Facebook is blocking the data now, so that the impressions are very difficult to connect to a specific user, and the cross-device solutions, they are not really reliable. We did a test at eBay regarding the different cross-device data providers, and the quality of the data was not so good. So there we have to rely on cookies and identifiers that can be passed between the different systems. Which identifier do we use? In which case do you mean? Between CRM and online, or between Facebook and others? If it's about the online customer journeys, there we have to use the cookies, so that if a user comes from one marketing platform, let's say affiliate channels, and then he comes back a few days or weeks later, then we identify him based on the cookies or the ad server data. And in the case of the ad server, then we rely on the identification of the ad server. If we talk about campaign manager, for example, then Google has quite good data on which ads have been shown to what person, and then we can rely on that. If the advertiser has a login system, so that the users are logged in and they can pass the user ID to us, then that's the optimal situation. But it's quite few companies who are in this position, that most of the users are logged in. That was the case we had at eBay. Yeah. Do we have a special agreement with Google and Facebook to track impressions views on individual level? Yeah, this is we don't have that. We are a Facebook premium partner and also a Google premium partner, but we are not from Facebook. Facebook is not giving out granular view data to anyone, not even to Nielsen, only aggregated data. So this is here we have to rely on the click data, and then we have some algorithms to identify the effectiveness of the different Facebook campaigns, so that we can do like incrementality modeling and testing, uplift modeling for those. This Facebook wall garden is a little bit a tricky topic at the moment. Yeah. All right. I'm happy to think yeah, this is the last question we are we are taking. So yeah, I know it's a very specific, but what are your learnings about conversions? Which platforms are performing best overall? Maybe there is a pattern visible. Good question. and tricky. It depends. It depends a lot on the business. If you think about like what's driving conversions, what's driving conversions, then of course you have like the lower funnel where you have search, where there is a strong intent. So someone is searching for something and he knows he wants to buy it. That usually performs well, and that means that you of course have Google. What we are seeing is that in terms of ROAS, many times Bing performs better, but you have limited volume, of course, there. And then in addition to that, you have the affiliate channels that in some cases can perform really well. And also the price comparison sites can perform really well, have a good ROAS, and retargeting, of course, also. And with retargeting, we have, of course, Google retargeting, then we have Criteo and RTB House. We are seeing very much working well there. But usually, like if one only optimizes for the lower funnel, then it's very difficult to expand the business and expand the revenue. So it's quite important to focus also on these upper channel, upper funnel marketing channels. And there you have, for some companies, Facebook is working really well, also for performance marketers. But it's not easy to make Facebook work. We also see many companies that waste a lot of money on Facebook. So it's a little bit it's a little bit dangerous. I'm sorry to not be able to give any like blanket answer to what platform is performing best. Search is maybe like the most easy to get performing well, but that is very limited. So then to really expand, one has to go also to the upper funnel channels. And then the question about where to download this presentation, I will share it a little bit later today with everyone. All right, hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. We went a little bit over time. Sorry for that. I will share the presentation a little bit later today, and yeah, happy to discuss any of these topics. And if you want to participate or get invitations in the future, just let me know. Thanks. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye bye.